Once upon a time, in a peaceful tidal by the sparkling shore, lived a young crab named Kiko and his mother, Mama Crab. The tidal was nestled between rocks covered with green moss and tiny shells that glittered like jewels in the sunlight. Kiko was small, energetic, and endlessly curious. Every day, he scuttled around, exploring crevices, peeking under rocks, and watching the waves dance along the sand. Mama Crab was gentle, wise, and patient. She knew that the world outside their tidal could be full of dangers. Big fish, sneaky seabirds, and humans with curious hands were just a few of the hazards a young crab could face. She spent her days teaching Kiko how to be cautious, patient, and observant. "Kiko," she said one bright morning, "I know you are curious, but remember, the world beyond our tidal is not always safe. Stay close and always watch for danger." Kiko waved his small claw and laughed. "Mama, you worry too much. I'm strong and fast. I can handle anything." Mama Crab shook her head but smiled. "Curiosity is good, my child, but recklessness can be dangerous. Listen to me when I warn you." Kiko didn't fully understand. The world was so vast and exciting, and he wanted to see everything it had to offer. That day, as the tide shimmered and tiny fish darted beneath the surface, Kiko noticed a shiny shell glinting far away near the edge of the tidal. It was smooth, pearly, and beautiful, a treasure for a young crab who had never ventured too far. Without thinking, Kiko darted toward it. "Kiko!" Mama Crab called out, her voice filled with concern. "Do not go too far." But Kiko was already racing across the sand, ignoring her warnings. He reached the shell, picked it up, and admired its beauty. He was so focused that he didn't notice the shadow above him. Suddenly, a seagull swooped down, its beady eyes locked on Kiko. The young crab froze, his tiny legs trembling. He had never felt so scared in his life. Just in time, Mama Crab leapt forward, pinning Kiko with her strong claws and shielding him from the bird. The seagull shrieked in frustration and flew away. Kiko's heart raced as he looked up at his mother. I was just curious," he stammered. Mama Crab looked him in the eyes, her expression serious but loving. "Curiosity is wonderful, Kiko. But recklessness can bring harm. Today, you learned the first lesson: always listen to those who care for you. Experience without wisdom can be dangerous." Kiko nodded slowly, realizing that Mama Crab was right. He had almost been taken by the seagull because he had ignored her advice. For the rest of the day, Kiko stayed close to Mama Crab, learning how to watch the sky and the water for signs of danger. He began to understand that patience and observation were just as important as curiosity. The next morning, the tidal was alive with the gentle hum of waves and the shimmering reflections of sunlight on the water. Tiny fish darted beneath the surface, and the rocks glistened with a layer of green moss. Kiko sat at the edge of the tidal, still thinking about the shiny shell he had seen the day before. "Good morning, Kiko," Mama Crab said softly. "Today, we will practice some important skills. It is time for you to learn how to survive in the world outside the tidal." Kiko's eyes sparkled with curiosity. "Survive? Like a hero crab?" he asked excitedly. Mama Crab chuckled. "Not like a hero yet, little one. First, you must learn how to hide from danger, move carefully, and observe your surroundings. The world is full of surprises, some wonderful, some dangerous." Kiko nodded eagerly. He wanted to be brave, but he also wanted to understand how to stay safe. Mama Crab led Kiko to a shallow corner of the tidal. "If a predator comes, you must know where to hide. Look at the sand, the rocks, the seaweed. They can all be your allies." She demonstrated by quickly burrowing herself halfway under a rock. "Watch carefully," she whispered. "A predator sees only what is above the surface. Blend in, and you are safe." Kiko tried to mimic her. He wiggled his legs, dug into the sand, and hid behind a small shell. At first, his movements were clumsy, and his legs got tangled in the seaweed. But Mama Crab encouraged him patiently. "Breathe, Kiko. Patience is your ally," she said. "Move slowly, observe, and you will learn." By the end of the morning, Kiko had learned to hide almost completely, his tiny eyes peeking out just enough to watch the world without being seen. He felt proud and a little more confident. After lunch, Mama Crab taught Kiko another crucial skill, moving safely. "Always remember," she said, "a crab moves sideways. It is the fastest way to escape danger." Kiko practiced scuttling sideways across the sand, dodging tiny obstacles like seashells and small pebbles. He learned how to pause, observe, and then move in short bursts. Suddenly, a small fish swam by too close for comfort. Kiko froze, remembering Mama Crab's instructions. Slowly, carefully, he scuttled behind a rock until the fish swam away. Mama Crab smiled. "See, Kiko? By moving carefully, you can avoid unnecessary danger. Bravery is not rushing forward blindly, it is knowing when to act and when to wait." By evening, Kiko felt tired but accomplished. He had learned to hide, move carefully, and observe the world. But deep down, he knew there were bigger challenges ahead. The Titapool was just the beginning. That night, as the moonlight danced on the water, Mama Crab whispered, "Tomorrow, you will face a real test, Kiko. Remember what you learned today. Courage and wisdom must go hand in hand." Kiko nodded, determination shining in his eyes. He was ready to face whatever the ocean had in store, but this time, he would do it wisely. The next morning, the tide was gentle, and the sun glistened on the water like scattered diamonds. Kiko and Mama Crab peeked out from beneath their favorite rock. "Today, Kiko, you will explore beyond the Titapool," Mama Crab said. "But remember everything I taught you. Patience, observation, and caution will keep you safe." Kiko's heart pounded with excitement. Finally, he would see the world beyond his small home. Kiko scuttled carefully along the sand, keeping close to his mother. The ocean seemed enormous now, with waves stretching farther than he had ever seen. Tiny fish darted between rocks, and the salty breeze carried the calls of distant seagulls. Suddenly, Kiko spotted something shiny wedged between two rocks, a bright, sparkling shell even more beautiful than the one he had seen before. His first instinct was to dash for it. But then he remembered Mama Crab's lessons. He paused, observed the surroundings, and noticed the shadow of a seagull gliding overhead. His tiny heart skipped a beat. Mama Crab nodded. "Slow down. Watch, think, then act." Kiko crouched low and scuttled sideways toward the shell, making himself as small and invisible as possible. He reached the shell without being noticed, his claws trembling with pride. "See, Kiko?" Mama Crab said. "Patience and caution work better than rushing." As Kiko admired the shell, he failed to notice a large crab approaching aggressively from the other side of the rock. Its claws were massive, and its eyes glared menacingly. Kiko froze. Fear surged through him. He remembered the hiding techniques Mama Crab had taught him. Slowly, he slid under a nearby rock, barely avoiding the larger crab. The predator snapped its claws in frustration and wandered away, leaving Kiko trembling but unharmed. Mama Crab rushed to his side. "Kiko. Are you all right?" "Yes, Mama. I remembered to hide." Kiko exclaimed, his voice still shaking but proud. "That's right, little one. You stayed calm, observed, and acted wisely. Courage is not about fearlessness, it is about thinking clearly when danger appears." After the encounter, Mama Crab encouraged Kiko to explore a little more, reminding him to stay vigilant. He practiced moving sideways through narrow rock crevices, hiding under shells, and observing the movement of birds and fish. Each small success built his confidence. By the afternoon,